Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be testing out something and playing around in the Watagans. We got a couple of mates coming around. One of them's actually testing a new toy as well. But for the Colorado, we've gone and upgraded. We've gone probably my biggest mod, most expensive mod, and of course I didn't do it. So there's no proper video around it, but this is going to be a bit of a test run. What I've done is fitted a Harrop rear E-Locker to the back of the Colorado. Now let me tell you, I've played with this thing for probably half an hour when we went for a bushwalk, and it has changed the game. Definitely a front locker is going to be in the future, but that's another $3 later. It's a bit hard to show you exactly what's going on because it's all inside the diff, but I can give you a quick little run through. And then I'm actually going to show you something else that I've been doing behind the scenes inside the car. So I did touch on it in my last video, but I didn't really make a video about it because it was just like half an hour every couple of days over a span of a month. So it's a bit boring and it was a bit tedious and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is just show you basically the end result, and yeah, if you want to go and do it, you can figure out how to do it yourself. So obviously the E-Locker is the rear, like I said, and like I said as well, you can't see too much. So if I zoom right in, you've got a cable there. It just follows the brake line up and the loom back to the front of the car. So there's not much you can touch on there apart from one connection, and then everything else is inside the diff. But for the inside of the car, actually let's go to the front. Since the last video, I also chucked on a cheap light bar. This is one I grabbed off a mate. It is a cheapie. It's probably cheaper than a King's one, to be honest with you, but it is better than these candles I got as headlights. The piece de resistance is this roof console up here. So I built this. It's just plywood carpeted stuff. It's very basic. It's a bit of a V1 sort of thing. I'd love to do something more professional looking. The way it works is I want to be able to run my UHF up here. So I've also got a UHF that's going to be going in, not yet, but it will be. So I've got the GME insert over there. It lights up, looks pretty, it's sick. Then I've got a interior light. So if I hit that, we've got two interior lights underneath. They're just an LED strip light, and let me tell you, it lights up the car like crazy. Turn that off. Then we've got our light bar, which comes on with the high beams, so it's all legal, stuff like that. So flick that on and off. Rear E-Locker, boom, that comes on when the car's started. Obviously it's on 12-volt accessory. And then on the side here, these two are the winch. So that's an isolator, just so I can't accidentally touch that. And then you've got your winch in, winch out. So that winch isolator and winch switch is currently not working. I think in the whole, like, doing it all, running the cables, testing it, it was working when I was first doing my test runs, and then I think I was stuffing around with it a little bit too much. And there is a fuse that I put in the control box of the winch, so I think I might have popped the fuse because it was doing some funny test readings and it's not working anymore. So I need to replace that fuse, I believe. Only problem is I've done such a good job of hiding that control box that I can't actually access it without taking the bull bar and the bumper off. So it's kind of in behind there, and the fuse is inside that box, which I have to unscrew from the back, which is a pain in the butt. So no winch control today, so hopefully I don't have to use the winch, but if I do, I can still do it the old way with running my cable into the car with the remote and stuff like that. Now back to the roof console. As you can see, there's lights and stuff on it. I also went and wired it up to the driving lights, well, not driving lights, sorry, but the interior lights. So you can see the red GME's lit up, and we've got the bottom of all them lit up. They come on at night time when your normal interior lights turn on and off. We're going to be starting on the track called CPT 80. So I've done it numerous times. I don't think I've ever filmed a video on it, but we've done it a few times. It's quite simple. I've never needed the locker really coming through, except for the last section where I have had to winch up a couple of times. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that the locker just idles me up and I don't need to use the winch, because as you can see, it's a pain in the ass to get out. Well, we're now starting the CPT 80 track. As you can see, my car's moving, but I'm not in it. The missus is driving the start of this. We have a bit of a deal. She likes to drive as well as I do, and I get a bit upset when I don't get to drive the hard bits, because that's always when I miss out. So what I've done is been strategic about this. I'm letting her drive all the easy parts at the start of the CPT 80. So you've got basically nothing. It's a couple of rock steps and then some mud puddles down here. but the end pit is where I know that I used to flex out and get a bit stuck, so that's where I want to test the locker. Easy start, couple of little mud puddles like I said, and then you drop into a bit of mud, so let's have a look. Now we've upgraded, we've got a new patrol in the convoy today. Bailey's not with us today, he's got soccer, but we are all pretty much running similar setups. So I'm on a 2-inch lift, 33s, the boys are on I think 2-inch lifts and 32s. So it should be pretty competitive today, I reckon. The patrol is not locked or anything like that. The Hilux is front E-locked, same thing, Harrop E-Locker. So yeah, we should see how we go. It's kind of like a front versus rear locker kind of day, I guess. Now this one here is a bit of a diff clearance bog hole. So yeah, we'll see how we go. This is one that I usually have to punch it out of because the ruts are quite big from tyres and stuff. But we'll see how she goes. It's not very deep either, so I would recommend this track to anyone beginning that's got, you know, some nice tyres and maybe a little bit of a lift. But this is a good beginner's track. You don't really need a snorkel because it's not that deep. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a bit deeper than I thought. Nah, it's just flat. Give it some. You got it? No, you just got to give it some. Your diff is clear at bottom and out. Go. Put the windows up and go back. Oh no. So as you would have just seen, the collie got stuck in here. It seems like these have really been rutted out since we've been here last. So yeah, they're quite deep now. Like as you can see, the bull bar was underwater there. I don't think I had that happen last time. So basically it got anchored right at the last, like on the pinch of the downhill, and just didn't idle through really. So we're not going to worry about this. We're going to go around this one. It's a very small, very easy, it's a tiny little hole. Should be straightforward, shouldn't get stuck on this one, I hope. Jesus, shooting mud at me. Put the locker on. Yeah, I think we're all taking the chicken track for this one. So a bit of a bog hole, but yeah, we'll get around, and then it's nothing really down here, just a couple of ruts, which again have been a bit chewed out by some bigger tyres. So that's restricting us, I think. Righto, so this one is one that I've been stuck on before, but a little pinch and then I got out of it. But she's a bit rutted out as the rest of the track, and it's quite deep and quicksandy. So let's see how she goes. Back. So she's a bit boggy. Go back, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Now come forwards. Send it. Highway. Well, she got through. Yeah, it doesn't look like she's dipping out there, which is good. So it seems like she's a bit boggy in the middle, but we may have just cleared some of it out. It's got quite a firm base, but there's probably a good 300 to 500 mil of just like quicksand basically. You drop in, it's not too bad, and then as you saw, really carked out halfway. I think I was watching her more than the camera, so I'm sorry for the footage is a bit shitty, but yeah, she got through. Right, another little drop into some water and then some ruts, dry ruts on the way out. They're a bit sloppy, but it should be okay. Like, yeah. Easy though. And then there's a bit of a tree root step thing on the left over there. Hopefully she notices that and doesn't smash into it real hard. Well, give it a climb. Is she going to get stuck? Is he going to get stuck? This is a good test for the locker. Will she get it? Come on, push, push, push. Man, that locker works well. To be honest with you, that would have got stuck at first try. Being a bit of a baby. Oh, not enough berries. Alright, the collie got stuck. Let's see how the Hilux will go. Ah, same thing. Front locker helps. Yeah, that works well. Go right end down. You gotta go right, Pat.
So slowly.
Now you want to go left. It's just your tray. I was trying so hard to keep the flare, our fender off the bank. So I think she's got no locker on, I don't know. Yeah, that's no locker, so we get stuck. Put the locker on. Now this should be with locker. Look at that. 3.5 grand well spent, eh? Like magic. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Very good, that locker works well. So that's the difference between no locker and locker for my car in particular. Most cars as well, I suppose. But my rear LSD was always crap if I even have one. So that was my main struggle, and this has absolutely changed the game. Now we'll send Pat up with the front locker. So no locker, like I said. It does have a factory rear LSD. Now locker on. So as you can see, he gets stuck. Still the same crawling speed, boom, straight up. Money well spent, that's good. And like I said, he's got the same Harrop front E-Locker in his. Yours probably would have done it better because I was struggling because I had no front locker basically. That does it. Of course it's got to start raining while we're on tracks with mud and stuff. My brakes are squeaky at the moment. They're really grinding. Now we got a bog hole and then a little bit of slop and shit and then a hill climb out. So we'll see how she goes. You got a step there. Oh, that sunk straight away. Easy go. Go back. Straight, right hand down a bit and try and go back.
Slow down now. You might want to.
You need to go right in.
Yeah, you might want to go. Yeah, right. Yeah, keep it right. Go down those. Yeah, you'll drop off.
Stay that side. Like stay hard that way. Harder. Now come back. Come this way. Just slow it down. You're out of it now. Just a hole here. That's it.
You're on the max track.
Turn out just a bit. Come down slow. That's it. Made it look easy. So we finally made it to the section that I wanted to test out on, and it is a lot worse than it used to be. This thing is pretty rutty, pretty big ruts too. Some big cars have been coming through here. But we used to follow this track down here where this tree is, and it wasn't too bad. And then yeah, head up here and then around the tree and you're up. But now it's kind of a bit iffy. This section's still easy to the tree, but it's kind of that section there where Jack is, and then up and around is quite big as well. So we'll see how we go getting out of this.
So just keep as you are.
Alright, finally my chance to drive today. We're at the end of the CPT 80 track. There's no chance we're doing greens break today. It's a bit late in the day, it's 4 o'clock or something already. But yeah, it seems like a bit of a mission to get up here now. It's very rutted out since the last time I was here. So this is going to be interesting. I doubt I'm going to drive it like I'm thinking I will, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to start with the locker off and we'll flick it on when we need it. So we'll see how we go. Alright, moment of truth. See how we go. Now, no lockers in, so probably not going to get very far, but we'll soon find out. Alright, locker going in now. Alright, let's give it another shot. That's me. Well guys, obviously you can see it is it's daylight again. We're now back home. We're sitting in the paddock about to wash the rig. So I'm doing this in the car a bit because it's picking up wind and I'm trying not to get too much wind noise on you guys. But basically the day was good. It was fun. CPT 80 track in the Watagans is a lot harder than what it used to be. It's very rutted out, very muddy after the last few days of rain we've had. And yeah, it took us pretty much the entire day. The plan was to do CPT 80 and then greens break as well. And yeah, we were on CPT 80 till 5, 6 o'clock at night, something like that. So yeah, it's quite tough now. The end hill climb, which is where I wanted to test the locker out, was nothing like it used to be. I used to be able to drive most of it and a locker actually would have got me up it. Now it was, yeah, it definitely wasn't drivable in my car. Basically the day was good. The locker works great, exactly how we wanted it. I understand now why they call it a magic button, because it gets you out of most pinches when you're running like an open diff or whatever like I am. It really helped out a hell of a lot. We would just get stuck, the car would get unbalanced, the wheel would come off the ground, start basically clicking because there's no drive to the wheel that's actually on the ground. Whack that magic button in and away you go. I highly recommend getting a locker as soon as you possibly can. They are expensive. Like, I'll be real with you guys, it cost me just a little over $3,000 to have the locker fitted, like that's supplied and fitted. I went down the route of getting it supplied and fitted because of like kind of warranty things, really. Like I probably could have tackled it myself. I've watched a few videos on other people doing it and it doesn't seem that hard, but it's more so the fact that if something does go wrong inside the diff, because you know I untorqued a bolt the tiniest difference or whatever, then I have to pay for it pretty much. So I was aiming for get someone else to do it. If something goes wrong, guess what, I can take it back to him and say something went wrong, mate, what happened. I did do the wiring side of it. That part was easy, so I don't know if there's a difference in charge there. I am definitely keen to get a front locker eventually installed. So yeah, like I said, definitely go down the path of getting a locker installed if you can afford it, and basically do it as soon as you can, because it will change the game. I reckon the way it should be done, if you're primarily focused on tracks, I would say tires, lift, sliders and locker. That would be my top 4 to start with, and then go down the path of winches and things like that. Now the day was good. We got out there, had some fun. The car come back relatively scratch free except for one thing, which I'll show you in a sec. I did get to drive it a little bit at the end on the last hill climb, but it was mainly winching, like there wasn't much driving involved. And then obviously I got to drive a little bit after that, after I stopped filming. So basically you saw most of the day. It did rain a little bit while we were out, but the ending was sort of where I didn't get a lot of footage. But we had issues with Jack's patrol at the end. Basically, long story short, he completely debeated a tyre, and then was also had air leaking out of one of his other tyres. So that was a bit of hell for him. And I think he just had to basically limp it home, inflate the rear tyre like a couple of times just to get home. And obviously swap over that debeated one to a spare. So yeah, it was a bit of a task pulling that patrol out of there, but we got him out, we got him home, so that's all that really matters. That's the fun of it. You just got to plan for that sort of stuff, I suppose, when you go forward driving. So like I said, we're about to start washing the car. I'm getting the gurney out, and it is windy out there, so probably won't do a hell of a lot of talking, but I want to give you guys a quick look. It's just very muddy at the moment. There's not a lot to show you, and again, you can't really see much with the locker. The roof thing up the roof console I done, absolutely love it. It is so good just having those buttons right there and just tick on, tick the light bar. I got to use that in night driving, that was great. I really wish that winch would work, because that would save me a hassle running that cable and worrying about it and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be good when that works. But looks like the battery's dying. Let's do a quick walk around of the car. So obviously she's nice and muddy at the moment. I think I brought half the Watagans home with me on the bash plate, to be honest. There's a lot of mud under there. And yeah, she's really quite dirty, especially down this side, just sprayed, and it's all in the inside of the door. The missus didn't bloody put the window down, the dog. But yeah, we went pretty good, relatively scot-free, except for one mark down the side. So unfortunately, had a root, and it put a bit of a dent, took a bit of paint off, so I'll just have to touch up paint that for now so it doesn't rust on me, but one day we'll eventually panel beat it out. But you know what, that's what happens when you have full drives, a dent. I mean, some people freak out about that and go and get it repaired straight away and want it looking clean, but this is a four-wheel drive. I'd rather spend that $1,000 on doing accessory, and then, you know, a year down the track when I'm done with accessories I can fix that up. So we'll just paint that up for now. A long distance in the future the car will, you know, undoubtedly get repainted or something like that, because we destroy the paint on it. But until that happens, we're just going to touch this up so we don't get rust, and away we go. It hasn't affected the door functionality or anything like that, so I'm happy. It doesn't really matter. Canopy went good, everything else went good, locker went great, tyres were good. But yeah guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope it sort of gave you a little bit of a review on the locker. There wasn't a lot going on with the locker, and it was hard to sort of film just because we were getting stuck every 10 seconds. So I really tried, but obviously there'll be more tracks coming up in the future. We're going to Lithgow for the long weekend, and we've got Fraser going at the end of the year. That's a bit of a secret, but you now know. So yeah, we'll have undoubtedly a lot more testing going on. Yeah, I guess you can see how it works over time, but in my opinion, I'm just a random dude, does a bit of four-wheel driving on weekends and stuff between work. I love the Locker. They are everything they're cracked up to be, and totally worth the $3,000 if you're actually serious about four-wheel driving. If you're a tourer or like you just like camping and stuff, maybe don't worry about it. Spend that $3,000 on your camping setup, get a nice rooftop tent or something. But for tracks, 100% go for a Locker. They absolutely changed the game. Anyway guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If you got any questions for me, leave them down below. Otherwise, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Catch ya.